Hi, Develle Morrison here. I'm a broker with Bosley Real Estate, and I wanted to provide you with my latest market update in terms of what's happening in the real estate market. So first, I'm going to start off with the stats from a company called Broker Bay. Now, Broker Bay services 70% of the central brokerages in Toronto, and their stats are based on the week of May the 4th and comparing that with the week of April the 6th. And when they do that, they see that showings are up by 149%, offers are up by 158%. MLS listings are up by 38.2% actually, and solds are up by 72.4%. So just to put that into perspective, essentially last week there were approximately 4,000 showings, just over 4,000 showings that were done. But to put that into perspective of what life was like pre-COVID, in the first week of March before the lockdown, there were just almost 12,000 showings done. So just to give you an example of, yes, month over month, we're up by 150%, which is awesome. But from the peak in March, we're obviously still down quite a bit. And the other stats that they've shown is from this week to comparing with last week. And so we can see that if we compare week over week, showings are up by 26.1%, offers are up by 17.4%, and MLS listings are up by 16.2%. Solds are up by 15.7%. The other thing that I had the opportunity to attend this week was a webinar hosted with Benjamin Tal, and he is the chief economist for CIBC, and he is an incredibly smart guy. And he distills macro and micro economics down to really simple terms and very understandable, which is one of the reasons I love him. So some of the information that he came out with today, and I'll just share some of the stats he mentioned. He feels that there will be a softening in the rental market. He feels that condo construction did stop for a period, making the number of completions not as good as what it was forecasted to be. The huge thing really is immigration. So much of the Toronto condo market thrives on the number of immigrants that are coming to our market. And with the borders closed, and he feels that this will be the case for a while, there will be much fewer immigrants coming to Toronto. So that is something that's really going to affect the rental market. So he does feel that prices are going to be lower from a, let's say, resale perspective over the next year. Not a drastically lower, but he does feel that there will be a softening and prices will be slightly lower. He feels that the housing market is not as vulnerable as the condo market with respect to the numbers softening a little bit. And he also feels that with respect to trends, a lot of us have been talking about, people who've been living in condos for quarantines, and they're going to want to run and go buy a house the second they get out. And Benjamin Tal's perspective on that is like, hold up, not so fast. He says, after 9/11, people were swearing up and down that they would never get on a plane again. And he said, our memories are short. We will forget that and go back to our regular habits. So he doesn't feel that people are all of a sudden automatically going to be racing for bigger houses simply because they've been under lockdown and they want more space. He feels like our memories are short. When he looks at how much money the government is spending and ways that the government might be trying to recoup that money, he feels that it's possible that there could be an increase on the capital gains tax coming up to try to stave off some of that money that the government has been spending. He feels that for buyers right now, the rates are really low, so it's good for them to buy. On the seller front, he feels that sellers will have to compromise on their prices because the market has softened a little bit. So that's my update in real estate this week. If you have any questions, please let me know. In my newsletter this week, I'm going to be providing a full update of all the economic information that Benjamin Tal provided us with because it's really, really interesting. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Bye.